Hi everybody. I'm going to be going over a subject matter that's very, very sensitive. And because of that, I expect to get a lot of grimaces and a lot of angry retorts and angry comments, and that's fine. Just keep in mind that this is my opinion based off of my own experiences, based off of some of the hardships that I had to go through to get to where I'm at now, even considering who I am, my state. So, there seems to be a huge controversy behind non-Hispanics learning and honoring Santa Muerte. Okay, well, I understand both sides of the spectrum. Some people disagree with it because it's just the way it's always been. Some people disagree with it because they have personally a deep-rooted dislike of other cultures. Some people disagree with it because they believe that their cultural power will get robbed from them. Some people disagree simply because other people disagree, and they could just kind of go along with that. My opinion on non-Hispanic people honoring and learning about Santa Muerte is just, like I said, to me, something that shouldn't even be tapped on. If you feel compelled, and if you feel called, and if you feel pulled towards learning about her, do it. The only person that's really going to stop you is yourself, as cliched as that sounds. My only issue would be is if the only reason you're learning about this is to give a middle finger to that culture and to possibly monopolize on it. Did I say that right? If you're basically only learning about her to make money, then yeah, it's the wrong reason. But guess what? If you're learning about any spiritual background just to make money, then of course, I'm going to have my own personal opinions on that. I think that if you're going into this with a clear mind and with good intentions and to better yourself spiritually, you should be able to learn about whatever you want to learn about. That doesn't just solely reflect on Santa Muerte, it reflects on everything. Because guess what? Whether you see it or not, whether you see it in the media or not, there are people of every cultural and ethnic background learning about every type of spirituality. Think about it. We, as Westerners, at least, most of the people that watch this video are Westerners. What would happen if, every culture stayed in its own area? We wouldn't know anything about Eastern philosophy. We wouldn't have learned anything about any kind of tribal practices. We wouldn't know, for those of us that are astrology fanatics like myself, we wouldn't know anything about astrology because they all originated from somewhere else. Keep in mind, our ancestors traveled. That's what they did. And whether the history books teach you this or not, anytime they traveled, they picked up on that culture. They picked up on the locals' culture. And they adapted and they absorbed. And they possibly even modified their own beliefs. An example is people that practice the Nordic polytheism, which is like Asatru, which is like believing in Odin and Thor and Freya and all that. Those people, those Norse people, traveled all around the world. That's what they did. And they brought their beliefs with them. And when they did, like to South America, for example, there's actually a big movement with the Nordic beliefs. Why? Because a lot of their ancestry, whether they originally thought so or not, came from those Nordic people. So to sit here and say, no, a South American, or even, hey, no, a Mexican can't learn about Odin and Loki and Thor is ridiculous to me, you know? And even if I wasn't Hispanic, even if I was any other ethnicity, I would still feel the same. Once again, I believe that if you're coming in with the pure intention to expand your spiritual knowledge, if you feel called by her, you know, from my experience, she doesn't pick and choose your race, because underneath that skin, you are a spirit. Underneath that skin, you are a soul. And there is way more to your existence than just this skin, than just this culture that you were born into in this life. No, you go far beyond that, and you go far ahead from that. If you feel a soul calling, then if you're European and you feel a calling to practice an African tradition, do it. So long as you understand their history, you're respectful of their history, you're respectful of the people that you're learning from, and you're doing it to advance yourself personally, then why not? You're not doing it to make money. You're not doing it to gain power. You're not doing it to use it. You're not doing it to use it against that culture. You're doing it to be in harmony. Then why not? I don't see anything wrong with it. There have been quite a few people that have messaged me, hey, is it okay? I'm not Hispanic. I'm like, sure. You're asking me my opinion? Sure. Why not? You have, you know, the purpose in your mind is to embrace, you know, her call to you. You know, maybe you weren't always European. You weren't always African. You know, you weren't always Asian. You weren't always whatever. That is just this life. You know, you have to think beyond that. You have to think, you know, possibly if you believe in previous lives, possibly I was connected to this culture in the past, you know. Now, can we prove it? Not really. But we know deep in us what calls to us, you know. Just because I'm Hispanic doesn't mean that I have to honor her. Not at all. You know, I could be looking into Kali. I could be looking into, you know, whoever else. It doesn't matter. You know, what matters is what you feel. And if this is just for you, remember that your entire spiritual journey is to better yourself, is to experience, is to learn, and to evolve. So if Santa Muerte is part of your path, do it, you know? And also another thing, under normal circumstances, most would say she is with you for life, which very well may be the case. But don't exclude those odd circumstances in which she appears to you, helps you with a certain situation, and might kind of take a back seat. Don't exclude that from the equation. To sit here and say that you know everything is bonkers, man. You know, you can't honestly say that in this single lifetime that you know everything about the way that this existence operates. But as far as that question in particular, go for it, man. Do it. The only person stopping you is the people that you are letting criticize you because of their own prejudices, and you. Okay? So I say go for it. And have fun and take your time. You know, if you watched all the other videos that I posted, this is not something that you're just going to learn overnight. And that's part of the process. This is something that's going to take you some time. This is something that's going to take a lot of discipline. It's going to take a lot of sweat. It's going to take a lot of tears sometimes. And it's going to take a lot of persistence, you know? So just go with it, man. Just take your time. Do what feels right to you. Who cares what they say? They're not paying your bills. They are not taking your soul journey with you specifically. Yes, we are all connected, and yes, we are all family, but they're on their own path. And maybe their own path is something that's completely different from yours. Okay? So I just wanted to post that today and kind of get my opinion out there. That doesn't mean that just because I have that opinion that it's everybody else's opinion. But, you know, if you were talking to me specifically, I would say go for it. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.